All right, guys, welcome to Coleman Report Live on Main Street Monday. Excited to be here. We're on Teams today, so glad you all joined us. And let's get into the content. So there were a couple of questions. We did a training last week, and the training was related to the changes in the SOP 50.10.7, the new 50.10.7.1. And one of the questions was asked by one of the participants: are fees paid to an agent and or third party for underwriting or closing services that are not associated with technology eligible to be passed on to the borrower as out-of-pocket expenses? Closing costs are a normal part of an SBA loan. If closing costs are incurred as part of the underwriting and closing of the SBA loan, they can be charged as out-of-pocket expenses to the borrower in the closing of the SBA loan. The other question was related to a supplemental guarantor added to strengthen the credit request. The question was, is that amount going to count against their SBA limit going forward? And my answer is, in most cases, if you've got a guarantor, any amount that is part of that loan will count toward their $5 million total that's available with SBA. Now, there may be some additional guidance that comes as we go forward, because substitute or supplemental guarantors is a new concept for SBA. But at this point, my understanding is it would count against their $5 million total. Bob, are you with us?
I'm with you, Lance. Go ahead. We're having issues over here, but we're working on it.
Yeah, so we did the webinar last week on Teams and everything went well. We're trying to get things straightened out for Coleman Report Live, but certainly substitute guarantors are a great new concept. It's something that we use in commercial lending all the time. If we have a borrower that's looking to start a small business and maybe they're not as strong financially as you need, and you know, I shared with Delaney an example of that is, if Delaney started a young business because she's a young person, don't have a strong balance sheet, they may ask for a supplemental guarantor, such as myself, to be a guarantor on the loan to strengthen the project, and that's something that's available in SBA lending as well. So, Bob, you want to take it?
You're doing fine. I'm just sitting here. I'm a potted plant today, Lance.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next part.
I have no idea how to advance the next slide, Lance. There was, why don't you, when we get Michael back in here, talk a little bit about, I know there's a change in SBA on the theory behind the loan packaging fee. And in terms of, for years, we were told 2,500, 2,500, 2,500. Now they are relaxing that. Can you talk a little bit about that and what we need to do to get ready for our Paris reviews for documentation?
Of course, participant banks have been able to charge a packaging fee for quite some time, and I highly encourage it, because an SBA loan is a little more complicated. It takes more work to get it to the closing table, and collecting a packaging fee from the borrower is perfectly okay. In previous versions of the SOP prior to the 50.10.6, I think, and I could be wrong on that, Bob, we were able to charge a flat packaging fee. And that made it pretty simple, because most participant lenders could come out with a tiered flat packaging fee. I know at a bank that I developed their SBA lending program, we had flat packaging fee, and loans under $100,000 typically would get a $500 packaging fee. Loans from $100 to $350, we would charge $1,000, and loans over $350,000, we'd charge a $2,500 packaging fee. That is back. You can charge a flat packaging fee as a participant lender to the borrower You can make a determination on how that flat packaging fee works. Like I said, most people tier it based on the size of the loan. But you can charge a flat packaging fee. That flat packaging fee, as long as it does not exceed $2,500, does not require the preparation of an SBA Form 159. Now, if you charge a packaging fee over $2,500, and there are many cases where that is certainly appropriate. Let's say you have an SBA borrower with 5 affiliates, and you're crunching and spreading and working on putting together a loan for an SBA borrower who has 5 affiliate businesses. That's probably going to justify a packaging fee well over $2,500, and it's perfectly fine to charge that. But if you, as a participant lender, charge a packaging fee over $2,500, you will have to complete the SBA Form 159 and provide some detail on what was done to justify that packaging fee.
Hey, Lance, the second question we have is from Gage, and it's talking about SBA Express lending and lender credit boxes. I'm going to let you go through this. And the bottom line is, what is your advice for lenders on how to manage their SBA Loan Express portfolio and program?
Well, SBA Express and SBA small loans are, from the SOP perspective, very similar in terms of underwriting, in that you can use prudent lending standards. So when you look at things like equity injection, what type of analysis that you're going to do, you're going to use similar analysis and underwriting that you would on a similar size non-SBA loan. So again, on the SBA Express loan, there's one part of this question that the question is not worded exactly, but on the SBA Express loan, you do have on delegated loans, you do have the opportunity, if the credit score does not meet the SBSS minimum of 155, and it still the applicant business still provides more than adequate cash flow, you can overcome that by clearly showing in your credit memorandum that the cash flow is more than adequate to service the debt. But again, SBA small and SBA Express loans are up to prudent lending standards. Bob, going back to the do what you do that SBA like to throw out there, that's very true on SBA Express and SBA small loans.
Well, very good. Well, with that, I'm going to cut the show short today. John never made it. We apologize for the snafu. Lance, we're going to go ahead and reschedule this for later this week, and I'll let you know. Thank you so much for starting the show and for getting us together. And thank you for joining us today for Coleman Report Live and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Lance.